I'm a big believer in using treat meals or cheat meals to support a weight loss goal. It helps provide a bit of a sense of balance while still burning fat as fuel. So today I'm sharing 5 foods that don't really help you achieve a weight loss goal, but are great to have as a weekend option as more of a treat meal. If you're new here, my name's Autumn. I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with my master's in nutrition human performance. On my channel, I teach you the science-backed tips to help you achieve your weight loss and wellness goals. So if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. And today's video is also sponsored by Kettle and Fire. More on them in a bit. Okay, the first food is pizza. And I studied abroad in Italy, studying the Mediterranean diet, and I ate a lot of pizza during that time. Although pizza tastes amazing, especially when it's homemade, it's really low in protein and really high in refined starches. And this combination can make it really easy to overeat pizza beyond what the body actually needs, which is why it shouldn't be something that's eaten on a regular basis. Not only is it easy to overeat, but it's also really high in insulin spiking processed carbohydrates. So if you choose to have it, make sure you keep it as a treat that you specifically have on a treat meal. And I'm emphasizing treat meal over treat day. There's a big difference, and this is actually the biggest mistake I see people make when it comes to cheat days or cheat meals. So if you haven't already, definitely make sure you check out my video on how to actually approach treat meals for weight loss goal. I'll have it linked right here, but also down description below. Now, when you do go to have it, to help kind of buffer the response your body will have to the pizza, you'll want to first have some type of protein-based appetizer. Thankfully, at a lot of pizza restaurants, this is kind of easy. You could get things like wings or meatballs and have that as a side appetizer before you have pizza. This helps to get the protein content up a little bit higher and helps prevent some of that overeating. Now, if you are carb sensitive, this isn't something I would really recommend until the body becomes less carb sensitive or less insulin resistant. But cauliflower pizza is a great option to do instead. In fact, most of the items that we're going to be going through today aren't really great for carb sensitive folks, at least in the beginning of their journey. So if you think you might be carb sensitive, you might want to hold off on some of these treat items until you get a little bit closer to your goal. But a high quality cauliflower pizza, that can actually even be eaten on a daily basis. Okay, the second food is pasta. Again, I studied abroad in Italy. I ate a lot of pasta during that time. I also felt pretty crummy a lot of the time when I was there because I was living off a college budget and pretty much just having like pasta with tomato sauce or like a cheese pizza. It wasn't a great diet. Now, depending on the type of pasta, which there's obviously a lot of different ways to make pasta, this can often also be very low in protein and very high in refined starches, which makes it really easy to overeat, just like with the pizza. And actually, many pasta alternatives have the same issue because they still tend to have some type of processed refined carbohydrate that they're using as the base. So if you're having this as a treat meal on the weekend, you'll want to make sure that you're going for more protein-rich options like spaghetti and meatballs versus just marinara sauce. But you can have some vegetable-based pasta alternatives on a daily basis. Zucchini noodles, spaghetti squash, hearts of palm, those are all great options that you could have that pasta type of meal, but have it still support your weight loss and wellness goals. And having protein in general is really important to help boost satiety and prevent overeating. And another way to naturally boost satiety is by pairing your protein with bone broth, like today's sponsor, Kettle and Fire. Bone broth is really rich in collagen, and it's been found that when you combine collagen-rich foods with a complete protein source like chicken, beef, eggs, etc., this actually helps to make you even more satiated than just the protein alone. And there are a ton of different ways that you can use bone broth. I know a lot of my clients like to just sip it on the side of their meal to get their collagen in while they're also getting their complete protein in. I personally like to add it into recipes. So I'll make a lot of different soups or stews or chilies. Last year I shared my spicy bone broth chili, and I used Kettle and Fire's Chipotle beef bone broth, and it really helps take that chili to the next level. And unique to Kettle and Fire, they simmer their beef bones for over 20 hours to really make sure they're getting as much collagen out of those bones as possible. And although Chipotle beef is my personal favorite, they have a ton of different flavors. So if you like to use bone broth in your meals rather than just sipping it on the side, you have a lot of different flavor profiles that you can work with. And you can get 20% off plus free shipping on your Kettle and Fire bone broth by using the code AUTUMNBAITS at checkout. So if you really struggle with satiety, this is a great option to experiment with. So make sure you get your 20% off plus free shipping. I'll have that link down description below. Okay, the third food that you should keep to the weekend or to those treat meal days is keto ice cream. Now, I'm specifying the keto ice cream because it doesn't actually use true sugars, which would make you think that you might be able to have this on a daily basis. But I found with a lot of my clients and AM peeps that the sweet flavor of the non-nutritive or zero-calorie sweeteners that are used in keto ice cream can still tend to lead to a decreased satiety and a tendency of overeating. But they are much better options than the traditional ice cream, which will be loaded with sugar. So having snacking a keto ice cream or sugar-free ice cream on the weekend could be a good treat item on those treat meal days. Now on the flip side, those really rich, really sugary types of ice creams, I typically recommend keeping those to special occasions, not on a weekly basis, because they are so packed with sugar and they are so rich in fat that combination is so easy to lead to what's called a bliss point, which essentially acts as addictive behavior and makes it hard to stop eating ice cream. Okay, the fourth food item is bread. Now, especially if you're insulin resistant or you're having difficulties losing weight. Bread is made from processed flour that's been ground, it's really easy to digest, and so there's not much slowing it down, and it doesn't lend to much satiety either. So you're not going to get really full or satisfied, and it's going to be more insulin spiking, especially when eaten on a daily basis, like if you're having a daily sandwich. And it's not to say you can never have bread, but if making a homemade sourdough bread or having a little bit of bread along with your dinner is something that you really truly love and you want as a treat meal, you still might want to experiment with having that protein first. The protein will help to raise satiety a bit and make it so that you're not going to eat the entire bread basket before your dinner comes. Now, if you are carb sensitive, you will still be better off with lower carbohydrate options like making homemade flax bread, or you may have seen those cauliflower thins where it's made from just cauliflower, eggs, and Parmesan, like one brand, Outer Isle. They've been doing a really great job with their cauliflower products. Okay, the fifth food to keep to the weekend are healthier cookies. And I'm talking about those not made with flour. Now, I have my peanut butter grain-free cookie recipe that you guys probably have seen me talk quite a bit about. This is from my original complete intermittent fasting bundle. It's included in those programs. It doesn't use any flour. It uses peanut butter as the base, but it does use a bit of honey and obviously chocolate chips. So because it doesn't have that refined flour, it is going to be more slowly released into the body, and you're not going to get as much of that insulin spike the way you would when you combine flours with sugar. But it still does contain added sugar in the form of honey. So while working toward a weight loss goal, this isn't necessarily something that you want to have during the week, rather keeping it as a treat meal item on the weekend. Now, when you have achieved your weight loss goal, and if you aren't very carbohydrate sensitive, this is something that you can be a little bit more flexible with as an occasional treat, even during the week. But when working toward a weight loss goal, even these healthier cookie items, you'll want to keep to the weekend because of that added sugar. Now, there are some foods that we see as treats, but have zero redeeming quality. And they're also highly addictive because they combine the sugar and the refined carbohydrates and fat. Unfortunately, these have become very mainstream and really easy to get our hands on, but not only will these drastically stall weight loss progress, but they can actually spike further cravings throughout the week because of that unstable blood glucose level they cause, which can just make everything feel like an uphill battle. And a quick list of these common items include cake, regular cookies, ice cream, gelato, donuts, soda, bagged chips. And this is definitely not an exhaustive list. Candy bars, another one just popped in my head. And it's not to say that you can never have these, but these items in particular should really be treated as a true treat on a special occasion, something like a birthday party or anniversary, and not as just, it's Friday, I'm going to have cake. They won't make you feel great. They'll spike the storing hormone insulin really high, and they'll lead to even more cravings because of that addictive nature that these refined sugars and refined carbohydrates have when combined. These foods are really hard to eat in moderation, at least for most people. For these reasons, the foods I just listed should be limited as much as possible for weight loss and wellness goals. But the first 5 are ones that you can play around with if you aren't super carb sensitive as a treat meal on the weekend. Now, if you're wondering how you can lose the last 10 pounds, you can check out these 7 expert tips with this video next. Also, if you're new to my channel and you love this science-backed information, make sure you subscribe right here. Come out new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video.